The cost of the war on drugs. Does it make sense to decriminalize drugs? Decriminalization of drugs would reduce state and federal deficits by eliminating expenditures on prohibition enforcement, including arrests, prosecutions, and incarcerations. At an approximate cost of $22,000 per prisoner, in 2009, the federal government spent $2,094,510,000 housing drug-related prisoners. Of the 14,209,365 total arrests in the United States in 2007, 13% were as a result of drug prohibition. That's like putting almost everyone in Hawaii and Alaska in prison. If drugs were decriminalized, the government would save $25.7 billion in state and local expenses and $15.6 billion in federal government expenses annually. How is the federal tax money spent on the war on drugs? In 2008, federal expenses reached $15.6 billion. $3.4 billion was used to fight marijuana. $7.1 billion was used to fight cocaine. $1.24 billion was used to fight heroin. $3.9 billion was used to fight other drugs. Every 19 seconds, someone in the U.S. is arrested for a drug violation. 82% of these arrests are for possession alone. The total number of federal inmates convicted in 2009 was 187,886,000. Of that, 95,205 were convicted for drug-related charges. About 51% of federal inmates are a direct result of a drug conviction. 47% of Americans over 12 admitted to using illegal drugs.
We've turned the corner on drug addiction in the United States. Drug addiction in the United States is under control.
After 40 years fighting the war on drugs, it's easier to buy marijuana than it is to buy a beer, according to a national survey of teenagers. Our legal system is completely overburdened. Nearly 4 out of 10 murders, 6 out of 10 rapes, and 9 out of 10 burglaries go unsolved, according to the Department of Justice. Over 35,000 people have been killed in just 4 years due to the violence related to Mexico's fight with their massive Mexican drug cartels. Violence, which is now making its way across the border into the U.S. Pat Buchanan of MSNBC once said, "How does one win a drug war when millions of Americans who use recreational drugs are financing the cartels bribing, murdering, and beheading to win the war and keep self-indulgent Americans supplied with drugs? There are 2 sure ways to end this war swiftly: Milton's way and Mao's way. Mao Zedong's communists killed users and suppliers alike as social parasites. Milton Friedman's way is to decriminalize drugs and call off the war. Americans are never going to adopt the Maoist solution, for the users of drugs are all too often classmates, colleagues, friends, even family. Indeed, our last 3 presidents did not deny using drugs." Find out more about the economics behind the war on drugs, the free market, and the principles of a free society at fee.org. Fee TV. Freedom in HD.